Hello, everyone. This is your loving host, best selling author, radio, and TV personality, Dr. Afshan Hashmi, live from a studio in Rockville, Maryland, USA. And friends, I am best-selling author of two books, and these are my two books. The first one is The Modern Mughal Mentality: New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace. And the second one is The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. Friends, when this book came in 2015, there was a lot of research going on in Harvard and Stanford regarding Jugaad and friends. So uh, I have conceptualized Jugaad as thinking outside the box. And if you read this book, you will have lot of ideas. You know about India, the buzzword Jugaad, and there is a business model Jugaad management uh, concept, and you will love that. The second one is The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. And when this book came in 2019, on 1st February 2019, there was no trace of coronavirus, but I had predicted that there will be bioterrorism in America, and in a very fictional story, I wrote this, and just see what happened in December, from December 2019 until today. Coronavirus is spreading like anything, which is bioterrorism, and I want this book to be made into a movie. So all those Hollywood, Bollywood, Netflix, all those producers, please contact me at Afshan at drafshanhashmi.com. Many producers and filmmakers have contacted me to license out this book, but I want to say to them that whatever price I want that price. Otherwise, I will not sell this book. And I want that price. So just think about it. And you also wanted, some of you also wanted the completed screenplay. So I am working on it, writing it right now, and once it is completed, I will send it to you. Having said that, friends, today I will be talking about a topic which is very, very close to my heart, and I am very, very hurt, by what all had happened to me and to my father, late Professor Abdul Majid Siddiqui. I was thinking a lot about it, that whether I should go on the media and whether I should talk about it or not. But this is high time that I should talk about it, because if my father would have been alive, he would never like it. But Abu, you were a thorough gentleman, but all your life you dedicated your life to your biochemistry department, and you were so hurt by what they did back to you. Allah is seeing everything what you used to say, but you went into depression because of all that, and that's why my father died early. That's what is my opinion, and solely my opinion. Nobody has asked me to make this video or anything. Any question you have to ask me, because I have seen it since childhood with my own eyes. So I am solely responsible for this video. And first, recently a group, Aligarh Sitare, wrote about my father, and that inspired me. They wrote very good words about my father. So I am so thankful to them for writing about my father. And I really love you, Aligarh Sitare group on Facebook, and I love you, and I want to give you a flying kiss. If Abu would have been alive, or my mother, he would have never, wanted this video to go live. But this thing has bothered me all my life, that what was the attitude of some people in biochemistry department because of Abu. They wanted to settle scores with me, and they have done it in every way. Whatever, my Abu did good to everyone, and just go and read about Aligarh Sitare, or Google my father, Professor Abdul Majid Siddiqui, and see, what people have to write, what his students have to write. But termites are everywhere, and I will tell you, I will not take anybody's names, but those people, I will always curse those people, and Allah will see you, and you will be, going to hell, and you will burn in the fire of hell. And I will ask you all those questions, once we meet on the day of judgment, that why you did this to my father. And that is my style, and that's all I can say. Right now, I will not take anybody's name, but inside their hearts, they know who they are and what they have done to my father and to me till today. So they are not backing off, but I had to come out in media and make this video just for you guys, to understand that, how political. That's why I hate politics. They take out revenge from whatever, whether they were harmed. As far as I know, my father dedicated his life, but they take out in generations. That's why many people say that you have all the capabilities to stand for Congress, or stand for any post in United States of America, and that is one of the reasons that I don't want to come in politics. But I have made a media company, and I will tell you the true facts, because all my life I have suffered because of these termites, and they are not backing off. Having said that, friends, let's talk about my father. This book came when my father's accomplishments they did in Aligarh Alumni Association of Washington DC, and my father and three people I love, and I want to acknowledge them. Three students of my father who are local here and who are always there for me. And they are from biochemistry department. If I need them in the middle of the night, I have confidence that they will come. And first is Dr. Rafat Hussain, then is and he was not a student of my father, but he's associated in different way. And the second one is Dr. Khalid Masood. He was a student of my father. Dr. Rafat Hussain was in chemistry. The second one is Dr. Khalid Masood. The third one is Dr. Akbar Khan, and the fourth one is Dr. Aftab Ansari. So these all students of my father. I love them. I want to give them a flying kiss. And they are, if I want them in the middle of the night, I am positive that they will come, and they respect my father a lot. And that's what I have to say. And having said that, friends, now let's start the introduction uh, of this book which Dr. Ansari wrote. And it says, Professor Dr. Abdul Majid Siddiqui was a person whose life should be celebrated by all who knew him because of his personal, social, and scientific accomplishments, because of his loving nature that caused him to love others and for them to love him deeply, because of the good deeds he did to others that in turn inspired them to do good, because of the accomplishments of those whose lives he touched. As his friends and family mourn his passing away, we join hands in ensuring that a celebration of his life ensues, and then helping to shape the celebration. When a loved one passes away, we feel sad, we mourn, we cry, all natural acts that can hardly be suppressed, as they should not be suppressed but should be expressed liberally. Such expressions, it is believed, are part of the healing process that help bring about a closure. Friends and family constitute an important part of the support system that is integral to the mourning phase, as they provide provided strength, support, and hope to the bereaved during this difficult time. Mourning, though inevitable and important part of death, is but one side of what we call death, the other side being celebration of the life of the departed one, celebration of his accomplishments, celebration of his good deeds, celebration of a good life he lived, celebration of the love he gave to his family and those around him, celebration of the love and admiration he received from his acquaintances, celebration of the lives he helped mold and change for the better, celebration of the accomplishment of those whose lives he touched. When a person like Professor Siddiqui passes away at a mature age after such great personal and professional accomplishments, leaving behind a loving family and friends, there is more to celebrate than mourn. He was an institution in himself whose professional progeny, family, and friends are spread all over the globe. So we all mourn the passing away of Professor Abdul Majid Siddiqui, and we all celebrate with gusto his life of tremendous personal and professional accomplishments and good deeds. We are his family and friends. The Aligarh Alumni Association, Washington, D.C., is proud and honored to be part of that family and friends, to be able to share in both phases of Majid Saab's departure, to organize a celebratory event and publish a book at this occasion. The event was organized by the association on October 29, 2011 in the Washington metro area with the following agenda items: collection of funds for establishing lifelong scholarship and or lecture series in Dr. Siddiqui's name, release of his collection of articles about Dr. Siddiqui, presentations from a few individuals, and dinner including some of Dr. Siddiqui's favorite dishes. This collection is organized to include first a few articles from Dr. Siddiqui's close family members, then his PhD thesis advisor, Dr. Victor Rodwell, followed in alphabetical order by others, including students and friends, ending with an article by a student, Wahid, who describes an interesting article encounter with Rodwell. And Victor Rodwell, Professor Victor Rodwell was my father's professor, and I will read what he has to say in this book. And here it is. Rodwell Victor W. PhD thesis advisor, intelligent, thoughtful, and gracious Majid. As his PhD thesis advisor, I believe I have known Majid longer than anyone in his personal or professional family, except, of course, for Jamila. And Jamila was my mom. When he joined my first group of graduate students at the University of California, San Francisco Medical School, Majid cast his fortunes with the newly appointed 29-year-old assistant professor. The project I assigned to him arose from the recent identification of mevalonic acid as a key intermediate in the biosynthesis of cholesterol, and my postdoctoral training under Asmod Snell in Berkeley, where I was instructed by the Israeli scientist Benjamin Volkini on the elective culture technique. Majid's initial project was to isolate a soil aerobe capable of growth on mevalonate as its sole source of carbon. When he accomplished this, I asked him to investigate the pathway whereby this organism converted melavolonate to amphibolic intermediates. I recall that at times during this research, I began to wonder whether I had assigned to challenging a project. My uncertainty did not reflect concern for his abilities, but my own inexperience in designing a research project for a beginning student. Despite my hints that he might wish to change his project, Majid maintained that he could carry it through to a satisfactory conclusion, as indeed he did, vindicating his judgment and dispelling my apprehensions. The small biochemistry department at UCSF was a social group. Majid attended our frequent parties, sipping orange juice throughout, thoroughly enjoying himself and participating until the party broke up. My wife married it, and I had Majid to dinner on occasion, and several times we dined with him both before and after Jamila joined him roughly midway in his PhD progress. I should tell you that we considered Majid a fine cook, although I suspect that once he returned to Aligarh, his culinary abilities were soon relinquished in defense to Jamila. These enjoyable dinners introduced us to the cuisine of Aligarh. When Majid completed his PhD, we took our small graduate group to a Japanese restaurant in downtown San Francisco, at which I ordered a large selection of sushi, a dish to which I had recently been introduced by a graduate student from Japan. As Jamila may recall, to my disappointment, nobody in the group cared for sushi, which was a pretty unfamiliar dish to non-Japanese in the early 1980s. Meredith and I retain fond memories of Majid. In addition to his abilities at the bench, he was a thoughtful and gracious individual at all times, calm both in adversity and in triumph. I considered it a pleasure at the time and a privilege subsequently to have interacted closely with an individual who forged a distinguished career and who trained so many fine PhD biochemists. The great source of pleasure for a graduate research director is pride in the subsequent success of his students, particularly one as worthy as Majid. It therefore will not surprise you that I take great pride in Majid's subsequent career and in the achievement of his many students. About the author, Victor W. Rodwell is Professor Emeritus of Biochemistry, Purdue University, West Lafayette, Indiana, USA. He was Majid Siddiqui's PhD advisor at UCSF. So, having said that, friends, see what his advisor has to say about my father. And now let me read about the work, little bit about the work of my father. And let's read. And it is commonly perceived in the West that the scientists in India, in journal and at Aligarh Muslim University particular, are not involved in true research and imparting of their knowledge to the next generation. By and large, this may also be true, but there are some people in India in journal and at Aligarh Muslim University in particular who have done remarkable research despite the lack of resources and a culture that rewards excellence. They have followed their dreams. Their commitment and perseverance makes them social, special, and distinguished in their fields of inquiry. One such person is well-known scientist, professor, and founding dean of Faculty of Life Sciences at Aligarh Muslim University, Abdul Majid Siddiqui. His remarkable research and teaching abilities help him to earn respect from the student community, and his students still remember all across the globe. He was also an able administrator and played a key role to establish an independent department of biochemistry and faculty of life sciences at Aligarh Muslim University. Professor Abdul Majid Siddiqui was born in Allahabad, UP on January 1, 1933 to Dr. Muhammad Azam and Mrs. Asia Bibi. Dr. Azam was working in a state-run clinic in Yusufpur, Mohammadabad region of Ghazipur district of the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh, UP, after graduating with a medical degree from Agra Medical College. Dr. Siddiqui got married to Jamila Alim 1956, daughter of Dr. Abdul Alim, former chairman, Department of Arabic, AMU Aligarh, and later Vice Chancellor, AMU 1968 to 73. Dr. Siddiqui has three children. Dr. Shahid Jamil is a senior scientist and group leader at the International Center for Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology in New Delhi, India. And that is previous information. It has not been updated here on internet. And now my elder brother, Dr. Jamil, is in Oxford, University of Oxford. Upon completing that with distinction, Dr. Siddiqui came to AMU, where he began his long career first as a dedicated and hardworking student, and then as a faculty who, in fact, in we say the greater sphere of opportunities for the future generation of students to come. Dr. Siddiqui obtained his BSc and MSc in chemistry in 1951 and 53 respectively. He was then recruited as a teacher and then lecturer in science July 1953 to August 1963 to teach an integrated science course to first year Unani students pre-tib of the Ajmal Khan Tibia College AMU. During his period, he proceeded on a study leave September 1959 to May 1962 to pursue his PhD in biochemistry from the School of Medicine, University of California, San Francisco, a top tier university. In March 1963, Dr. Siddiqui was appointed as a lecturer in biochemistry section of the chemistry department to teach biochemistry to the MSc students and mentor students aspiring to do research. He continued in this position till December 1966. Dr. Siddiqui was then promoted as a reader in charge of the biochemistry section within the chemistry department in December 1966. His duties then increased to teaching biochemistry to BSc and MSc students and guiding research of MPhil and PhD students. In April 1972, Dr. Siddiqui was promoted as professor and he continued in that position till his retirement in 1995. It is worthwhile to mention here that Dr. Siddiqui played the most important role in the establishment of an independent department of biochemistry at AMU in 1986 and also the faculty of life sciences, of which he was appointed as the first dean. Among the various academic accomplishments achieved by Dr. Majid Siddiqui, here is a list of few which deserve special mention. During his doctoral thesis, Dr. Siddiqui conducted research on lipid metabolism and enzymology. This research work provided new insights into bacterial metabolism and was instrumental in elucidating the metabolism of mevalonic acid by bacteria, a major discovery by Dr. Siddiqui entitled Process of Combating Hypercholesterolemia resulted in a US patent 3629449 filed on 22/4 1968 and granted on 21/12 1971. This groundbreaking research conducted by Dr. Siddiqui at AMU provided evidence for the first time that cholesterol biosynthesis inhibitors such as 3-hydroxy 3-methyl glutaric acid HMG might find a therapeutic use in treatment of hyperlipidemia, increased lipid/cholesterol. The global exploitation and marketing rights for this study were taken by MS Cal Biochem Behring Corporation, San Diego, USA. Since then, other workers have shown that HMG could also be used for the treatment of scoliosis, gallstones, and other workers have used this as a basis to file more patents based on this original work. Dr. Siddiqui's research also led to the discovery of two isoflavones, biocanin A and formanetin, in gram-sized arachidonic chana, and these compounds were shown to have lipid-lowering properties. These isoflavones showed the addictive effects of HMG on alcohol induced leukemia. And you can Google my father, Professor Abdul Majid Siddiqui, and then you can read about his other accomplishment. He was a man of lot of accomplishment, and he was a very humble and God fearing man. So, having said that, friends, now let me come to the termites, and I call all of them termites. Oh, and that is a journal word I have used for them. For all those individuals who backstabbed my father, and still after my father's death, uh, they are not backing off. One such termite is a person, who's my father used to train him and took lot of heat because he was a gunda, like he used to beat people on the spot, and he was doing all the gunda gardi means that he was not only like he was fighting with fist, with everyone. And my father saw that he's a bright student, and my father said that you can even do things in the night, and I wanted to train him. And he was with my father's assistance, with he my father even paid his uh, fees for coming to America. And till today, that man is so ungrateful that he talks about my father here and there, and says that he makes fun of my father, and he fooled my father. And he has, whatever he is today, he doesn't even acknowledge, nor his family even acknowledge that today that he is the student of my father. And he is such a big termite, that because of him, I have been harmed a lot, and he is a termite, and he knows who he is. And so I will not take his name or anything, but I call him a termite, and I am very he might think I am upset with him or anything, but well, I give the facts. If you have any question, that person, I am available here. You can comment or you can write to me whatever, that why you did this video and all that. But he will not say anything. He will be so quiet, because he knows that if he starts writing, then that person is so brutal. I can't say any more about him. So now he is in America. The other person in America, she is another brutal person, and till today she is harming me. I was getting a job, and she interfered in it, and she messed up everything. And just doing and they both are hajis, so just doing hajj doesn't mean that God will forgive you. You have to show by your actions, what all you are doing. Having said that, friends, now let's go back to the by and my father, my father helped in this person's wedding, and my father was instrumental in this person's wedding also. That she was so bad mouthed in Aligarh Muslim University. Her posters had come out, and my father helped her to get married to the boy. And after all that, I don't know what grudge these two termites have against my father, that till today, they are after me, and wherever I go, they interfere, and they ruin everything for me. The third termite is again in America, and that person thinks that as if he can write papers in biological, not any paper less than PNAs. He thinks so much of himself, and I don't know why he is after me and my husband. And I to all three these people, that I'll not take your names. You will be disturbed after saying that, and may Allah give you and God give you some sense that stop doing all this, and life is very short. So having said that, now let's go to biochemistry department and talk an incidents which I will never forget in my head. My father, whenever we had very limited funds, because my father was an honest man and he had a lot of responsibility of his all nine brothers and sisters, including him. There were 10 brothers and sisters, and their nieces and nephews and all. And his father, although he was a surgeon, but he came and he stayed with us, and my father looked after everyone. And my father and I, we also had an autistic child. In spite of all this, my mother cooperated so much with my father. And Ammi, if you are listening in heaven, I want to say assalamu alaikum. And Abbu, if you are listening in heaven, assalamu alaikum. And Nana Abba, my professor Abdul Alim, if you are listening in heaven, assalamu alaikum. And all your life you people have only contributed towards the goodness to humanity. And if you would have been here, you would not have let me do this video. But it is a high time, it is bothering me to hell that when these people will stop. So let's go to biochemistry department, and I will tell you incidents there. And that incident is when my father died. Then when first time I went to India, I met the then vice chancellor, Lieutenant General Shah, whom I think as I like a father, and I commend him for his braveness. I love him a lot, and Aligarh Muslim University should have another vice chancellor like him, or Aligarh Muslim University should give him another chance to go and fix the unfinished work in Aligarh Muslim University. That's all I feel about him. And so I went to meet Lieutenant General Shah, and I said, like, I had written to him that when I will come to India, I want a photograph of my father be installed in biochemistry department. I went, I made the photograph and everything, which I didn't have to do. My father was the founder of Aligarh Muslim University, So I thought, like, let's go there and talk to him, and say that let's go and tell him that I went. And he said, I wrote to him why photograph is not, and he would be quiet, he would not say anything. And then I went to why the photograph is not installed in biochemistry department, what is going on. And General Shah would keep quiet. And then I went to meet him, and then General met him, and then I asked him the same question. He quietly got up from, we were sitting in the living room of the vice chancellor's residence. He quietly went away and came after 5-10 minutes with the phone in hand, and he said to me, just listen to the conversation. And then the other side was the current chairman of biochemistry department, and she did not know that I am listening. And I heard the whole conversation. That lady, my father had carved her career. I am so annoyed with her, and she has even taught me. She was my teacher. I used to think that she is like an angel till that day, because she has such a demeanor, but she is a bad wolf in that sheep costume. That's what I will say to her. She told Janal Shah, and I was listening, that uh, Majid Siddiqui is not even the founding chairman, founder of biochemistry department. And in this book she has an article, and she has herself written that she is Professor Siddiqui is the founder of biochemistry. And it is a fact that my father was a founding. And I was listening to that conversation, and I was shaking, and crying profusely. And Mrs. Shah was holding me like her daughter. And I respect Lieutenant General Shah and Mrs. Shah a lot, and I want to give them flying kiss for helping me recover from that shock. And I want to give them flying kiss. I was so disturbed after that, and then that lady, after saying all this, she again came with that sheep costume, and inside she is a wolf. And she came, and on the Eid day, to my house. And I just got I when I saw her, I got up and went in the drawing room. And then my mother, told her something about this nature. My brother walked away, because I told everyone about this incident. And if you are listening, and I'm sure you are listening, I will see you on the judgment day, and I curse you that you will burn in hell. That is what I will say to you. So, having said, until today, my father's photograph is not installed in biochemistry department. It is not a big issue or anything, but look at these ungrateful people, that. And my father, like used to invite every one of his student to our house on breakfast or dinner or anything, and we were, deprived of food. And they were served of food, because we had very limited resources. And my grandfather was vice chancellor, and he was very wealthy, and my father was never accepted anything from him, because he thought that, like, he was a very, very self-made man. So I want to clear that people who think that he was vice chancellor's son-in-law, but he was, and he never let my mother, accept anything from my grandfather. And he would get so annoyed on my mother if she would accept anything from, because he thought his self-respect is being hurt. So that is a story I want to tell. And my father was feeding all the poor students, all the Hunda students, those con men. And I would only call that Hunda person a con man, and whatever words, but I will never take his name. Maybe this video he will see 1,000 times, and he will know that what it is. And whatever he wants to do, he can do whatever he wants, and I'm not taking his name, and because I don't want to defame him, but my Allah knows that whatever I am saying is true. And then just see, then there is another termite, who was the chairman of biochemistry department when my father's papers were under him. That my father's emeritus professor thing, and he deliberately stopped the paper, and he did sign it, and he gave me so much of hard time in the biochemistry department, because I did PhD biochemistry department. Whatever I would do, he would not like it, and he gave me a very hard time. And Allah is seeing, and you will die in when you will die, and when the judgment day comes, judgment day comes for anybody, and judgment day is for both of us. So it is for me also judgment day, not only for you, but for me also it is judgment day. So if you have any grievances, let's take out on judgment day. And that's what I believe in, so, and that what a true Muslim believes in. So he did not put let me drink water, please. And that chairman, my father hired him. My father carved his career, and he did this nonsense to my father, he did not. And just imagine, what is the emeritus professor did my father's work, did not allow him to be that, but he stopped his papers. And my father was so depressed, that what is all this, because he was thinking that he did so much for biochemistry department, and he went in depression. Today, if all that would have happened, my father would have been alive. That is what my feeling. I know everyone's day comes, but there are circumstances also, and that's why I refer everything to God Almighty and Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that they would take care of these termites, and I curse you all. That's what I'm saying openly. I curse, I curse, I curse. And having said that, and then we were deprived of food. And just think, like what it is, and what I would do, whether somebody liked or not, I would go to my grandfather's house. I usually used to live there. I used to go there, have a nice meal, and have everything very five-star kind. And my grandfather loved me, and so I had a nice time, if you think. And that's why they are jealous of me, and that's why they are doing all this nonsense to me. Here they can't see me getting progress, so that's why they are doing this. Okay. And then there was one person, who would always back me whatever happened, so and he used to help me in my PhD work, like if I'm going to get blood from medical college. My thesis was on blood and all. And when I used to go uh, to get blood from medical college, because I had to come and process the blood, so I used to go and then I would put my experiment, and he volunteered that he will help me see the SDS page, electrophoresis being run. So now these gossip mongers, they started that I am having an affair with this person, and they used to say that my father would give like my father would give PhD like lecturership and son-in-lawship to him, and he is like my brother, and I will not take his name, and he understands. And I was engaged to somebody at that point, and they poked his ears, and that person was so stupid. I will not say that that person was nice or anything, he broke the engagement, so I have been hurt all my life because of these termites, and they are not stopping. So and then when I got, and now they everybody wanted to get married to this queen. They thought princess of Majid Siddiqui, and that's why they were doing that. And that stupid person, who he is no more alive now, the one I got engaged to, my engagement was for 5 years, 5 years. And we were not understanding that why he is not marrying me, after doing engagement. Nor he was canceling the engagement, nor he was coming and marrying me. And I suffered a lot of trauma because of it. And he is no more alive, he is with God. So if that person is listening, I will ask you that question. I was unable to ask this question when you were alive, because I got married to somebody else, and I did not want to be in contact with you, although you always wanted to be in contact with me. And you contacted me 1,000 times, that I should leave my husband and go back to him, but you are upstairs in Jannat, I guess. And when I come there on the day of judgment, I will ask you this question. So having said that, and you can ask me any question that day. So now, so because of these termites, these things happened. And now I would say the other thing was this, that the emeritusship of my father, and nothing came in contact for that thing, nothing came in contact. The papers were not moved, the papers were stopped. And my father carved that one's career. Now till today the photograph is not there. Does Aligarh Sitare wrote about my father, and I am very, very obliged to them that they wrote about my father. Does anybody, current students in biochemistry, know who is the founder? They have changed the founder of biochemistry and the founder of life sciences, so they want to change the history, which is very, very wrong. Allah will see you. And that is and these all people are they show they are god fearing people, but they are wolves in the thing of the sheep. That's what, in they are wolves, bad wolves they are. So that's what I will say. And till today the photograph is not installed, and I have no regrets. Whatever I had to say, I said in this video. And if you have any questions, do write to me at Afshan at Dr.Afshan Hashmi.com. And if somebody wants, I will be more elaborate on this topic. For now, this is enough, and let's see if they stop. All my life in biochemistry department, they took out revenge from me. And yes, when I got when I was about to get married, because we were bitten by the engagement thing for 5 years. So when my wedding day came, it was announced very, very quickly, and nobody knew that I am getting married. As soon as the cards were distributed, and my father wrote to the my ex-fiance's elder brother. His father had died, so my father had wrote to my ex-fiance's father, elder brother, that think this engagement is finished. And that's what he did. He used to do everything to the T. And then wedding was announced very, very quickly. And then as soon as my wedding was announced, this termite in biochemistry department, who happens to be my father's student, and he is in America, but and he called my father again. No, he called my husband, and he called, okay, let's go for dinner. I am Majid Siddiqi's student. And he took him to dinner, and he told that you should not get married, and what, I don't know what you are expecting, and they are very poor, and your life will go haywire, and this and that. So just look what my hubby replied, and I am so happy, and I feel so gratitude towards him. He says that even if they don't have anything or anything, I will marry her, and I will not listen. And he walked out. Like, he invited him for dinner, and he did not even serve him dinner. And because he wanted me to get married to his nephew, which I did not know, because of course my father would not get me married to somebody, who has backstabbed me. But when this episode my husband told me, and he told my father, then my father told me that he is doing this because of that. And he is like a he is in whole thing. He looks like a sheep, that oh, I'm always looking for God. God, do this for me, and God, do this for me, that. And he is another termite. So having said that, friends, now I will end this broadcast. And do please buy my book. And yes, my followers love how I came up with this look. And so I wanted to say, so when I take out the makeup, I put this, and I don't want to deprive them of this makeup thing. And these are the two beauty blenders, moist. So I sprayed this on my face, and then I put this, and then I put little bit of this, and these two eyeliners, as well as these are the brushes, and the eyeshadow, I put red eyeshadow, and this is all. And I did not put powder or anything today, and so I just came like that. And have Because sometimes you don't feel like doing makeup or anything, and so this is how I got this look. And I always love cheetah prints. Do you like this cheetah print? Then do write to me. And all those young generation and all those people listening, learn from these experiences of life, that's what that's why is one of the main reasons why I have uh, come out and said that. So having said that, friends, cheers. And yes, these are my two books. Please go and buy these two books. And the first one is The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace. And the second one is The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. Having said that, friends, these two books were Amazon bestsellers, as well as they are Amazon. This first one, The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace, is the best book, it was hot number one new release on Amazon. And the second one, The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, I want a movie to be made. And Tailflix evaluated it and said if a movie or a web series is made, then it is equivalent to Contagion as well as Crazy Rich Asians. So just imagine how beautiful that will be. So all those Hollywood, Bollywood agents listening and all, please contact me at Afshan at Dr.Afshanhashmi.com and learn, folks, from my experience, that how these termites emerge. And I know these kind of people are in this world, and because of them, the world is not getting better, and there is so much of jealousy and those kind of things. Also, I want to say to termite, salam alaikum and bye bye. And to all my folks, cheers and bye bye.